Okay, welcome back. You are watching The Agenda. Let's take you back now to our reporter, Hasina Gori, who's actually watching one of the stories that are quite critical this hour for you, and that is coming out of Pretoria. This is where family and friends and former colleagues and comrades are expected to have arrived to, pay their last respects to former Minister Pravin Gordhan. This is all happening at his home in Pretoria. And we're picking this conversation up now with Hasina Gori, who's our reporter, monitoring developments there. So, Hasina, just before we dropped the line a bit earlier on, I was asking you about your experience since Friday, since the story broke. Me and you have been chatting ever since. And I know that Gordhan has also been described as a towering figure in politics. What have you been hearing amongst the neighbors there, as well as some people that have popped in to also pay their last respects? What have they been saying?
Once again, Kolisi, we are outside the home of the former late Minister Pravin Gordhan here in Kroonkloof, Pretoria, where his body was just removed from the home. The families as well as his close friends gathered for a private viewing where the body was inside the home, and they got to spend and give their and respects to the former minister. This is ahead of an official ANC memorial which will take place at 4 p.m. later today here in Gauteng, but there will also be one tomorrow in KwaZulu-Natal in Durban. That's ahead of the official Category 2 funeral which will take place at the Nkosi Albert Lithuli ICC Center in Durban on Thursday. It's expected to begin at 10. I want to bring in one of the family spokespersons we've been speaking to since Friday. Thank you for speaking to us. Quite a heavy morning. We just saw the emotional right now. I'm sure for the family, Pravin Gordhan just retired from public office, 5 months ago. They may have planned to have spent quite a long time with him, or have spent more quality time with him. It must have been quite difficult and devastating for them to lose him now after he retired, from the public eye.
Very much. Yes, I think this is a very difficult period for the family. They were looking to spend quality time where they can have their father and their husband for themselves for the first time. Someone who's not fighting political fights in the underground, someone who's not busy negotiating a constitutional dispensation, and someone who's no longer in public service. So I think there is a deep sense of grief, and fortunately some of us could be there to help support the family during the past week or so. I think what we need to emphasize is that the family deeply appreciates the public support, the messages of support, the tributes that were pouring in since last Friday, to really acknowledge the role he has played in fighting for our liberation against apartheid, his work politically in the underground and in the civic structures in KZN, then the period of negotiations for our constitutional dispensation, and of course after that availing himself of public service in various roles. So it's been tough for the family. He's always been, they always had to share him with the rest of the country, as it were. And I think they really appreciate the public support that has carried them over the past few days.
We've seen the body leaving the home just a few minutes ago. Can you just give us some idea of now what is the proceedings that will take place until Thursday?
Shortly before the departure, there was a small, private and intimate ceremony where some religious rites were performed. Obviously, it was very emotional for all of us. For some of us, this is the final goodbye. From here, the remains will then be transported to KZN in the afternoon, and all the preparations for that journey will now take place with the undertakers. And then I think from tomorrow onwards there will be a number of memorial services in Durban until then the funeral is on Thursday 10 a.m, which the presidency declared as an official state funeral, which will be open to the public to attend.
We've heard from the family that they have, requested those that do want to share and maybe send through flowers, that there was an alternative that they wanted. Can you just, for those that may not be aware, just share that with us?
Yeah, the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation has really been a pillar of strength for the family, as they've been to the family of the late Uncle Kathy. So they continue to do political work, work to defend our democratic institutions and to educate people about the democracy that we are living in. So the request is really, instead of sending flowers or gifts, please feel free to make a donation to the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation. You will find the details on their website. And I think that would really be a tribute also to the life of Pravin Gordhan, because after he was removed as Minister of Finance in end of March 2017, every speaking event he was requested to speak, and people said, we would compensate you for this. He said, no, Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, please pay them. So they've really walked a difficult journey for many, many years, and I think it's only befitting that the public can acknowledge the work of the Kathrada Foundation in this respect as well.
And you bring me to my final question before I let you go, is that when we look to his life and his legacy, how can we as a public, or how can even those that are in public service and public office take from the life of Pravin Gordhan when we look forward?
Well, there's a former Treasury colleague who wrote a tribute yesterday, and he said when two of them were at his bedside last Tuesday, and he said to them, our country is going the wrong way. Please don't stop working to make South Africa a better country. All of us in the inner circle, of course, knows what that means. It means that we have to protect our democratic institutions, that we must always advance the fight for social and economic justice that he stood for and he fought for, and to help educate the younger generation what it means. Pravin would always tell us that the fact that we have a constitutional democracy is no automatic guarantee that you will get 5% economic growth, that you will get immediate equality, job creation. These things must be struggled for, and it takes hard work to build the institutions that must actually deliver them. And I think, as we've seen during the state capture years in particular, those institutions can be broken down very quickly to the detriment of the country and the economy. So those are the kinds of messages and principles we can learn from and take forward, those of us who are left behind.
Condolences once again to you and to the family as you say goodbye to someone who is very dear to you. That was the family spokesperson, Adrian Lockie, speaking to us outside the home of the former late Minister, Pravin Gordhan, really detailing some of the legacies and the tributes of Pravin Gordhan, but also saying the family has been really grateful for the support from the public, calling on those that do want to send through gifts and, floral arrangements to rather donate towards a cause that was very close to Pravin Gordhan, but also detailing some of the memorial services and the rites that will take place from today till his later rest on Thursday at the ICC, or the last program that will take place at the ICC on Thursday, when he's given an official Category 2 funeral. Kolisi will continue to speak to people to try and get more messages from those that are visiting here. The private viewing has been done, but still expecting family and friends to come through and pay their regards to the family.
All right, tell you what, we'll be keeping a very keen eye on that throughout the day right here on the channel. Hasina Gori is our reporter on that story.